it's the opposite, to be honest. Like some days I'm in school and I'm like, bro, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I
Oh
could be
wow.
doing something outside of school right now.
Welcome back to the Unoccupied Podcast. My name's Aryan.
And my name is Zeyad. On this podcast, we share our life happenings as two unoccupied first-year university students with some dope guests.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's get to it.
Right. So, life is crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We've taken a long break for the podcast. We're finally back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back for season 2. Season 1 was only 2 episodes.
Season 1.
But allow it.
Keep it short and sweet. Yeah, keep it short and sweet.
Yo, my guy, it's just me or like time has been passing crazy fast. Maybe because everything is online, but I just feel like days are really passing fast.
I feel like just because we got back to the whole grind of university and stuff like that, it's been really weird and like we're not used to that fast-paced life yet.
Yeah, man. So summer just felt very long, and since university started, I haven't managed to find the time for myself because my uni's in Canada and I'm in Dubai where I'm 8 hours ahead. So I my sleep schedule is like reverse. It's like I sleep at around 4 a.m. and wake up at 11 p.m. I ended up going to University of Toronto to study management and finance. So I'm enjoying the courses. It's just that it's heavy, and making it online. It's the fact that it is online makes things very, very different, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So just looking forward to the day I get to go. Yeah, I'm studying what I like, to be honest. It's fun. It's just the quantities. It's a lot, but obviously, what do you expect? It's university.
Yeah, like for me, I'm in the UK. I'm in Dubai, but I'm studying in Exeter. So for me, it's like a 2-hour difference, 3-hour difference. Not a lot, but I get what you mean. The quantity is a lot more than like what we did for the past 3 months. But I feel like we're prepared for it in a way. Like we've worked hard.
IB really prepared us. Yeah.
Exactly, and like I like what I'm studying. It's something that I wanted to study since business management. So I have like entrepreneurship course, marketing courses, which I really like to do. And the whole concept of university is really nice, but being online is a bit weird.
Yeah, and is it just me? I don't know. There's something I've been thinking about. It's like, even though right now it's not the ideal situation, like we wish we were there. As first year students, I know that next year I'm gonna wish I was in this position. The hype and the nice stigma of being a first year, like that literally happens one time in your life. So even though this is not ideal, when next year comes, if we are there in Canada or UK, we're still gonna wish it was here. Because honestly, I'm grateful that I'm able to spend one more term with my family, spend it here. I can't cook, so I'm grateful that I don't have to cook it. You know what I'm saying? At least for these 4 months. And yeah, what's up with you? What do you feel like? What's going on in your head, man?
Like for me, your uni is 4 years, mine is 3, so 1 year is like university experience. But like, I really wanted to go. COVID and like other stuff stopped me, but I feel like what you said, the first year experience is like we're never going to get it.
Yeah.
We never had a graduation. We never had like our first year of uni, so that's a bit sad. But I think it's just that the hype is building up when we actually go in January. Whenever we go,
exactly. And like when we're meeting some people now online, so when we go, it's gonna be very exciting, So it's it's not the worst, but obviously it sucks. But
and I feel like it gives us more time to like understand what we're actually doing and get like our university stuff sorted, like academic wise, before we actually get on with the work and like party and stuff like that.
Right.
So you're in Canada, so your sleep schedule is like completely messed up, right?
Don't even. Oh my god, it is so bad.
Yeah.
It's just, well, honestly, in the positive side, if you look at it positively, because I'm ahead in time zone, technically I have longer to do my assignments. Because if an assignment is due midnight there, it's due 8 a.m. for me. It does mean that I get it 8 hours later, but those 8 hours, like I'm not gonna do my assignment from 12 to 8 as soon as I get it. But if I'm like, if I need the extra time from 12 to 8 to actually do it, and it's like the day before, then I can. So technically I have longer. But just sleeping is not nice. Sleeping late is not nice. And I realize the later I sleep, it doesn't the quality of sleep reduces as well. Like if you sleep for like
Yeah.
from 5 to 1, it doesn't feel as good as from 12 to 8. You know,
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't relate to it, but yeah, I definitely understand what you're
you're on the
saying.
grind. You're on the grind, my guy.
I was at
Schedule
the
your
4:30
schedule is
grind
deep.
was something else.
What was
That
that?
4:30 grind was something else.
Yeah, the
So I
ideal.
mean, I think that just set me up for like sleeping a lot is important, and like it sounds very crazy, but like a bit like neurotic and a bit crazy. But I mean, it is what it was. I had to do what I needed to do to get through that passage, and it was good.
Right. Yeah, so something I've been thinking about quite often is the balance between social life and work-life balance, basically. I mean, if it
Yeah,
really exists even. So it's like, what's the line between socializing and being out there and then still dedicate enough time to be strong academically? So it's
yeah,
like I've been seeing a lot of, snaps, people going out and partying and it's like obviously I still do that, but it's like it feels like
where's the line?
yeah, where's that line? It's like a blurry line between how much time I should dedicate. Like, is it literally study 6 hours and party 6 hours, or is
Yeah,
it like what's the line? It's very fuzzy. It's hard for me to clearly define it. What
yeah.
do
I
you?
mean, I completely understand. I mean, for me, cricket is like 80% of my life, and then I have 20% for academic and like my social life and whatever it is. But like in my opinion, I feel the line is like it differs each day. I
Right.
mean, like one day you can be 6 hours studying, 6 hours something else, or next day can be 12 hours studying and no party, or 12 hours party and no studying. I think like something like Gary Vee actually said was, if I had one regret in life, it would be to go back and enjoy those
Yeah.
moments when I was younger. You only get it once,
Exactly.
right? And
Right.
like it's not about. I feel like many people like tell me as well. It's not always about that grind of getting stuff done, but it's more about how do you enjoy that process of grind.
Right.
Like for us, me and you, we love editing the podcast. We like talking about podcasts, and this is what we talk about on day-to-day basis with each other.
Yeah. I want to tell you.
Exactly. And I feel that sort of process is just, it's a unique way of like many people just party and like have fun, and that's their mojo. That's what they like to do. For us, it's trying to find a balance between the two, which is really hard. But I feel if you enjoy the process of finding that balance, that's something you can really hold on to.
Yeah. Right. That's a good point, and I think it just depends on the stage of life we're in. Like right now, first
Hmm.
year university, first month, even like we're just trying to go out as much as we can, and obviously it will calm down as
Yeah.
we go. But it just makes me more excited to actually go to campus and meet all the people, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it just gets me even more excited to actually go to the campus and meet all the people there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm really excited to go on campus whenever I go. But like a question, how do you like, not right now, when you go on campus in January, whenever you do go, how would you find that balance then?
Right, that's actually a good question. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's mainly about prioritization. I'm assuming that
Hmm.
the first month or two when I go is gonna be high frequency of like meeting new people and going out, because just it's that exciting stage people, you know, link up. And then
Yeah.
obviously as the month goes, it's gonna kind of fade away and spark again. So I would say that balance is really as simple as it sounds. Honestly, scheduling my time and like knowing
Yeah.
ahead of time. Like I look at my classes, what I'm expected to deliver in terms of that. My extracurricular involvement, I know what I have to deliver to
Yeah.
that. Then be as efficient as possible. Sometimes when I squeeze myself to do a certain task in a certain amount of time, I actually do it instead of just giving myself a long period of time and just making that task take up the whole day. So I would say scheduling my time and remembering that your network is your net worth. So meeting people is still important. So I would say it's about prioritization. What about you?
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, like, it's all about setting the goal and then achieving that. So when I go on campus, of course, I'm going to prioritize like the social aspect of life first, because like mental health is the most important part. And if I'm around people that I really like, then it's going to help me with other platforms, like other stuff, doing other stuff as well.
Right.
So I think that's like my first big goal, but at the same time, not losing that productivity that I have right now of working and getting stuff done while being as social as I can. So I think
Right.
it's all about efficiency and like setting your goals for the day.
Hmm. I have a question for you actually.
Yeah.
This is actually a deep question. you ever?
That's what this podcast's for. This podcast
Yeah.
is for deep conversation between me and you.
Yes, sir. Do you compare yourself to others? Like anybody?
I would love to say no, but yes, I do a lot. I think it's just that sometimes in life, like especially not, I'm not saying people like us are special or people like us do a lot more, but we tend to do a lot more than what other people do. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. I feel it's like a neutral thing. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I compare myself to people who like enjoy life a lot, like enjoy the stereotypical way of life a lot more than what I do. And I think that's something that like it's a bit weird, but it is what it is.
Right.
What about you? Do you
Yeah,
compare
I think
yourself?
it just yeah, there was a certain period of my life where I didn't compare to myself to anyone at all. Mainly because I was a bit I didn't when I used to not put myself out there and was very, timid. It wasn't timid, but I didn't put myself out there. Wasn't really comparing myself. But then when I started involving myself more and meeting new people, seeing new faces,
Mm.
for some reason it made me compare myself even more to others. And it's just so strange because like it really makes you think about you compare your accomplishments. It's like on one hand, we've done more than a lot of people, but then there's people that have done more than us. So we're
Exactly.
kind of in the middle. So it feels weird. But then if you really think, I mean, the way I see it is like we're all. It sounds like stereotypical, but like we're all blessed in some way. So it's like even though people may seem amazing or not good, whether they appear better than you or worse than you never know
Yeah.
what they're actually going through. You know,
Exactly.
you
I
never really
mean,
know. They might have something you wish you had, and they might secretly have something.
exactly.
They might secretly want something that you have. So it's really fuzzy. And when my mind goes there, I really try to stay away with it and stay away from it and focus on my goals to deliver.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice. It's nice to say that, but like in one point, you're always comparing to other people. Like, I
It's
mean,
natural. Like you can't really.
yeah, I think
And I
really
feel like as
natural.
we get
I
older,
think
it's
with
gonna get worse.
social,
I don't
so
know.
cool.
I feel like as we get older, it's gonna get worse. Because as you start getting into
Yeah,
jobs and high level universities, maybe even
yeah.
like masters or I feel it's gonna get worse. But it's just part of life. It's just something that's always gonna be there. Like who
Ex-
doesn't.
yeah, I feel like with social media, it just makes it worse because you're always up to date with other people's lives.
Yo,
Like, if we didn't have social media, like, okay, when we were kids, like in fifth or sixth grade, none of us had Instagram or Snapchat. Well, most of us didn't.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
didn't know what's going on in other people's life. But now, like, one Snapchat story tells
Yo,
you what's going on in that person's life.
man, I swear, when I started really, really using Instagram and Snapchat, I mean, first of all, it took up more of my time, and
Yeah,
it made comparing myself to people even worse. Like it just I mean, it made the exponential. Like honestly, so and I feel like social media is just it's a weird thing because it's just amazing how we can connect with others from all around the world, but then at the same time a lot of people put on masks like different faces just for social media, and it makes others feel worse about themselves. It can be a great source of
exactly.
motivation, but still it can be a source of self-deprecation. Bars.
It's like an amazing tool for getting opportunities, getting like stuff.
Yeah.
People we have on the podcast coming up, it's all been via Instagram DMs. But at the same time, you compare yourself, you think that this person's great, when in reality, it probably isn't. Like, for
Yeah.
example, a perfect example is like YouTube influencers, right? People aspire to be a Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whatever it could be. But you actually have no idea like what Jake Paul's life is or what Logan Paul's life is. It's always about like, oh wow, he has 20 million Instagram subscribers. I mean, YouTube subscribers. That's what I want to reach, but you don't know that stuff it takes to reach there, or like the hard work he puts in to reach that level.
And you don't know what's going on with family, with other relationships.
Exactly.
It's just very different, you know.
Yeah.
It's something crazy and hard to fathom.
Yeah. Totally.
Now, on this week on the Unoccupied Podcast, our guest is Mustafa Syed. He is an aspiring photographer, videographer, specializing in landscapes, architecture, and automobiles.
He's a great influencer. He has over 20K on Instagram, and I think right now 80K on TikTok, but might just go to 100K. You have no idea. And he's generally an amazing person. He's such a great motivator for me and Ziyad. And guess what? He's literally our age. He's 17. He's my age. He's a year younger than Ziyad. And we had a great time talking. So make sure you stay tuned for the next part of the episode.
Thank you very much, Mustafa, for joining us and for your time. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and we're excited to have you here. So just to warm up, I mean, what made you get into photography?
It was actually linking back to Egypt, my time in Egypt when I was living there for 3 years. My older brother, he was into wedding photography, and he had a camera. It's a really cheap camera. It was like probably like $100 camera from Canon. And one day he was just like, you know what, screw it. I don't want to capture anything. You just take it, right? So I remember holding the camera for the first time, and we used to go to the pyramids and the the Valley of the Kings and stuff. So I'd capture history with the cameras and stuff. So I found my initial start was just in capturing moments, capturing architecture, what I'm doing, what my family is doing. So it really just started there. Just randomly, my brother gave me the camera, and I started taking pictures, pictures of birds, cars. It started just like that, just out of nowhere.
That's really great. I mean, I have a quick question. So I DM'd you on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you have LinkedIn and other stuff like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think the world has changed from the old mainstream like LinkedIn and like other platforms towards like Instagram? I found you on TikTok first, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So more on TikTok and Instagram. How do you think the world has changed? And do you think like you're gonna get more high level contracts to the old way or to the newer social media marketing way?
I feel like it really depends, to be honest. For example, on LinkedIn, the people you can access, the level of people, the level of executives you can access on a platform is amazing. So you can make a viral post on LinkedIn will probably be more beneficial to you business wise than a viral post on TikTok, where there's younger audience and stuff like that. So I think that these days, sure, you can get TikTok famous, you can get Instagram famous, but the monetary value is not there unless you have Adidas sponsorships or something like that. You have sponsorships coming in or money coming in. But for example, YouTube fame, LinkedIn fame, like a LinkedIn audience, these two things are like very powerful today. I think that if you have an audience there, you're set, because social media is getting increasingly powerful, as we go. And those two platforms are still leading, in my opinion.
Okay, so like, what's your favorite type? Would you rather go on LinkedIn or go on Instagram or TikTok?
For recreational purposes, definitely TikTok. But I feel like TikTok has given so many people a platform, in the sense that you see Instagram right now, it's so tough to grow your profile. You grow like 500 followers a month, for me anyways. It's that slow. TikTok, however, you grind that for a month. I had like 70,000 followers, over 10 million views. And I've seen that, and I'm at like the bottom level. You see, one of my friends, his name is Amir De Leon. He got about 1 million followers in a night. One night, his video got like 21 million views, and it changed his life. He got sponsorships. He got, like everything came up to him. So it just takes one lucky night to make your life on TikTok. So in a sense that I'd be scrolling TikTok just to see people blow up like that. I love to see it.
Right, that is very interesting, very fascinating. So what was your favorite project that you've worked on, and how did you get it?
My favorite project has to be a tough one. Because there's some that I call my favorite because they're a big milestone for me. For example, the one that I did for Jafurah Hotel in Dubai, the tallest hotel in the world now, the Guinness World Record video that we did. That was milestone for me, in the sense that got me some recognition in the media world here in Dubai, like the market here. But my favorite project is probably we parked 5 supercars in the desert. We had like a Veyron, we had like 2 other Lambos, we had a Urus. I feel like it's times like those where moments that, I read these comments on TikTok like, oh, I'd love to be there, or you're so lucky. So just having that gratitude of, you have this opportunity, you have this moment to capture or, experience this. I feel like that was a really nice moment for me.
Yeah, that's totally great. quick question. So we spoke about it before we started recording. You're our age, roughly our age, and like you're in school or university, whatever it is. How do you find that work-life balance? How do you find socially being active while being productivity with your photography and being like academically strong?
A solid question, and it's one that I feel like I'm not in the right place to answer because my work-life balance is, I don't manage it well at all, in the sense that I am studying, for example, so Sunday, Thursdays are my school days. So and my subjects are those that I have to grind every night to stay on course, because the people that I'm with are geniuses, just like flat-out geniuses, and then there's me. Okay, I'm in that section, but I'm not as good as them. But my point being is that I'm averaging like 5 hours of sleep a day. And on weekends, I'm going out at 4 or 5 a.m. I have no sleep, just filming then. So it's all about prioritizing studies first. That's for sure. I'm not going to sacrifice any projects or anything unless it's like 1 in a million, right? So studies first, you grind that, you get good grades. And then your film life is just on the weekends after you've done all your work. So just managing that. And then the thing is that editing my videos, it takes like 20 plus hours probably for some of them, right? And just finding the time and keeping motivated. So, you study 8 hours a day and then you go at night and you're like, oh, I have to edit for 6 hours now. It gets mentally tolling. And when it comes to the point where you get grinded out, I don't know how to, what the term is, but once you've grinded enough and then you don't see the response that you want to, for example, you spend 20 hours editing and you only get like 1,000 views, you shouldn't be impacted by that. But as time goes, you are, no matter who you are, right? So it's tough.
Totally. I totally understand. I mean, for me, like us personally as well, I play national level cricket in Dubai and like India, stuff like that. So like finding time is so hard. And I personally use Google Calendar just to schedule like every hour of my day. Do you do anything like that, or is it just mental?
I just keep a track of notes, like what I have to do school wise, and then once I've just gone through everything, then I just start editing. But calendar wise, nothing really, unless it's exam season. Then I plan every hour out.
Yeah, this topic is really interesting. I just want to stay on it for a bit. So, have there been moments where you have been working on a shoot or just filming something, and you think to yourself, "Wow, what if I could have spent these 3 5 hours work studying?" Like, do you ever feel like you've missed out on something, or like you've not regretted, but you know what I mean? Like you felt like the opportunity
I
cost of
understand.
of filming.
I think it's the opposite, to be honest. Like some days I'm in school and I'm like, bro, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I
Oh,
could
wow.
be doing something outside of school right now. And I think that comes to the dilemma of actually going to university for me or not. And if I want to take a gap year or what the hell I want to do. But the thing is, with growing up with Pakistani parents, Asian culture, you need a secure job, you need a secure degree. But to go out of that stereotype is tough. So unless I have some sort of passive income coming that I can say I can justify me going out of university, that's my only option if I wanted to drop out.
Just to stay on the topic a bit more, where do you find the motivation to keep going? Like, is there something like for us, it's like our role models. For me and Zia, like we have our parents, like our grandparents as role models. There's something like someone to you that like keeps motivating you, keeps telling you to keep pushing on.
Not really in the filming sense, not really, because nobody in my family or outer circle has ever done this before, right? So I'm like the first one adventuring into this section of the market or whatever you want to call it. But I feel like studies wise, of course my parents are there to support me. My mom is always there, study hard. She's always motivating me to study, and that's always been her first priority. She's like, you know what, screw it, just study first and then do whatever you want later. So my parents have been supportive in the sense that they see that I'm studying. After I'm done studying, they give me complete freedom to do whatever I want, right? So I can go out, I can take an Uber and I can go out right now. And that's also an advantage, I feel like, of living in Dubai, because if I was living in the US, I could never do this. I could never go into someone's car outside and just drive off an hour away into the desert. That's some scary stuff. But
Totally.
But yeah.
Right. So in terms of like brand deals, how do you secure them and like reach out to influencers for collabs? Obviously, I know probably like some of them reach out to you because they see your work,
Mhm.
and but how do you how do you secure those brand deals?
Um, I think that first of all, it's just content first, right? You have a good page, you have a good brand, and you have good quality on what you're producing. It could be that you're a cricketer and you play really good cricket and you're looking for a sponsorship. So you need to make sure that your page is not surrounded around that, but it revolves around the idea that you're amazing at cricket and this is what you do. This is your life. This is your passion. So with me, the idea is that when brands don't come to me and let's say I'm looking for work, I'm looking for some income or whatever I'm planning to do. Let's say I'm contacting a coffee shop company for a small video, right? Just to ask them if they need a video done. What you need to make sure is that, for example, I do cars. I don't do coffee videos or like coffee shop videos. So if I'm contacting a coffee shop video and I say, okay, I charge $500 for a video, can I come over this weekend to do it? They're gonna be like, "Where's your proof? Like we only see car videos on your page." So making sure that, for example, for me, when I contacted coffee shop companies, for example, they asked me for videos and work that I've done, which I didn't have. So having a portfolio around brands that you want to connect with is so important. So I can't be contacting Adidas, for example, and asking them for a sponsorship for clothes when I don't even promote myself. I'm not a lifestyle influencer, right? So you just need to make sure that you're in the right niche and that you're contacting brands relevant to your field.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, like we on our podcast we interview people, so like I think our niche is probably you.
Yeah.
And I think we definitely did 100% right choice for getting you on because
Mhm.
we're learning a lot. And I think our listeners learn a lot as well.
Mhm.
It's a quick question. How do you like plan for a shoot, or how do you like prepare for a shoot mentally, and what do you actually do?
That's a tough one, and it's such a long process in the sense that you have so many logistics that go into it. For example, either my mom drives me like for the rolling shots for the supercars, or like I ask a friend, or there's 100 other things that we can get done. But the logistics wise, mentally, is that you have your camera gear, and I've had times, and every time I learn. These are learning experiences. So whatever bad happens, I take it as positive. For example, I had a paid shoot. It was a really really big one, and I came up to the location, and my mom asked me, "Where's your equipment?" And I'm like, "Damn, it's at home," and gone. That's a whole shoot gone. That's the whole opportunity gone. So the idea of learning from your experiences. So I've had lost equipment, I've had missing SD cards, but I had everything charged and I had everything, but we couldn't do anything because I didn't have the cards. I've had police issues happening there, but essentially what I'm trying to say is that you can't be prepared for everything, but you have to take everything in your stride.
Yeah, totally. It's a quick like a final question for me, and then Zia can
Mm-hmm.
continue. But like for us in high school, doing this podcast or doing like vlogs or like YouTube was a bit cringy, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I
A
get that.
bit.
Yeah.
It's a bit out of the blue, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you like avoid that cringiness and make sure like you're sticking to your work and like make sure people don't judge you on the basis of that?
See, people are going to judge regardless, right? People are going to be jealous. People are going to be looking at what you're doing and what they're not doing, and they're going to compare you, right? And they're going to judge you on your work regardless of what they're doing. What I've experienced is that there's always going to be a minority of people that are making fun of you behind your back, obviously, because and the idea of what I'm doing is that I have to promote my stuff on social media. There's no other way about it. I have to go on TikTok. I have to go on Instagram. What people don't realize is that that's not showing off. That's just putting your work out there, right? So there's the minority of people that don't understand that. And then there's the others where, like, for example, I keep a very small friend group just for that reason. So I can avoid the toxicity. I need a group that can support me. And I need a group that's not jealous or not toxic or not backbiting or nothing like that. They're just supportive of what I'm doing. So I feel like the only way to avoid that is cut off toxic people. I know it's a very cringy thing to say, but it's very true at the same time. I think that, for example, you're starting a podcast and people are making fun of you. They're coming on, your socials and they're like, what the hell is this? What is this idea? But they don't understand, one, the grind that goes behind it. Just like you were saying before we started the podcast, the grind that goes behind even connecting someone, the work to do with planning a meeting, planning with between three people, it's actually a lot of work. And then for me, it's all about the time editing. People don't see the 20 hours plus that I put in. People don't see the efforts that go into, going an hour away and filming and connecting. And I feel like people are always going to hate. And if you take that hate in, you fail, right? So just keeping positive for me is the number one most important thing.
Very nicely said. So just on that topic, do you compare yourself to others?
I wouldn't want to be, when I'm asking people not to compare me with them, I feel like it's the same way that I wouldn't want to be compared. Like, for example, one of my friends, he posted on his Instagram story the other day, literally yesterday, actually, and links in perfectly. He's like, I don't know if it was this French player that was playing. He was like 17 years old. And his text on the Insta story was like, he's 17, FFS, FFS, what was he saying? He's 17. What am I doing with my life? And the reply that I gave to him for that story, I replied back, I'm like, everyone's time is different. Everyone's time to thrive or everyone's peak time is different. So I told him, bro, your peak time might be at 25, but his is at 17. So, you have to be patient. So patience is the number one thing for me. And that's why I felt like there are times where I feel like, videographers, we all follow each other, but we don't really support each other, if you get what I mean. So when I'm looking at other videographers and they're getting these big gigs and they're meeting up with big celebrities and stuff, like, sure, you'll reply to them like, wow, amazing, but actually you want to be doing it yourself. So then you're asked like, why am I not getting projects? When is my time going to come? So what I've experienced is that I experienced just that like 2 years ago. And then, like, for example, one of my targets was filming with Movlogs, just for example. And this year that happened, right? And I used to watch him 3-4 years ago and I used to dream of that or like aspire to that. So everyone's time is different. And I feel like people should remember that patience is so important.
Wow, that's an amazing answer, honestly. I'm sure people find value in that. And just to finish this off, where do you see yourself going from here in terms of everything?
My main goal is to help people. I feel like that's always what it's been. Definitely to do with I would love to retire obviously it's probably everyone's goals, but I want to retire my parents early, but it's tough. And to get there, that's where the sacrifices have to be made, right? If I want to pursue filmmaking, I have to know that I'll make it big. Otherwise, there's no point. So right now, I see myself getting through school. Let's say I do get 4 A stars, then I will consider going to, some university or something for hopefully get some scholarship somewhere. But if I don't, then I'll consider getting a gap year and really pursuing this to the point where I don't want any regrets left. I've seen so many people, even if it's, for example, cricket or basketball or football, my cousin's older, they're like, I wish I pursued football to uni level or I pursued football to pro level. So I feel like I don't want any regrets left. Let's say I'm 20 years older and I'm an investment banker and I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. I don't want to be like, I regret not pursuing filmmaking when I was 17 and, taking that as far as I could. So having no regrets is something that I've learned is something so prevalent for everyone these days, for every one of our kids. Either it's because of stereotypes, like you're stuck to your parents, like, you have to do engineering or doctors or whatever you want to do. And then there's just people that are too scared because their jobs just don't earn enough money or there's not enough potential. So that's just what I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great answer.
Aryan, I'm sorry.
I think
I know you're gonna finish
Go.
this off, but like, wow, that was phenomenal. Honestly, like,
Yeah,
very
to be
inspirational.
honest.
All right, yeah, close it off.
Yeah, so I mean, thank you for actually being on our podcast. I think
Thank you for having me,
learned
man.
a lot. Anytime, man.
No,
I think I
I think
personally
that
learned a lot.
I think
Go
that
ahead.
sorry for cutting you off, by the way, but when I see, I saw myself DMing about 500 people a month about a year ago. I was on that grind, like I was looking for videography opportunities, and when I felt like people didn't answer or people didn't give you that opportunity to show, like, either give you the opportunity to be on their platform or show them what you're capable of, it was the most demotivating thing in the world. So when I saw your DM, and obviously I receive a lot of DMs about donating and helping, and as And as valid some of them may be, I'm just not in the position yet, right? But when I see something that I can give, some of my time to, or, go on your platform and be hosted by you guys and have this opportunity, then I'm 100% going to do anything like that comes my way.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much. I mean, like you were the first, like I probably DM like 200 people that week or two, and like you were the couple first people actually responded. I'm like, okay, wow, people actually read their DMs and actually respond, and like that's like really cool for me, for a person who hasn't done a lot in the media but really wants to do it. So I guess just thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Anything you want to social, like you can say your social or whatever. Go for it.
Not really, but just Mustafa Syed on all platforms, and I just hope that you guys. What is your goal with this podcast? Like, what do you guys are aiming for? Like, what is it?
Right, that's a really good question. I would say I can tell what it started off. I mean, we were using it as a platform to kind of let our creative outlet out there, and
Hey, and another question, just so I know you guys, but what do you think makes your podcast different from others?
I'll take this one. It's a question I've got a lot of time from my parents and like other people as well. I think what makes it different is that like first of all, me and Z are like the closest of friends. Like we try to talk every day at least. And second, I think we have a different high school. Like you have a different high school experience than what most kids do. Like for us, both of us run businesses, both of us run YouTube channel, run this, run that. It's not like people, our friends, like we have friends who party all day, and like that's a different life compared to what we have. And like
I have the same thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Exactly. And like I think that's what makes us unique.
Because when people are either wasting their time, that's what motivates me as well, in the sense that people are partying and people are wasting their time, and then you're out there, either you're grinding or editing or you're out shooting. So just having that contrast and seeing where people are utilizing their time, it motivates me. But it shouldn't make you feel bad for the other person, but it makes you feel much better, you could say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and sometimes you also have to define the line between actually enjoying your time in life and your age and grinding. So
and I regret that as well. Like one of the things that I was talking about, like before, regrets, and like I regret not spending more time with my high school friends, for example. It's not because now that I'm looking back at it, bro, I'm like, I didn't go to half the dinners or like half the lunches. Like we went to MOE or we went bowling or whatever we did. But I regret not socializing more and putting this to the side, because we have a lot of time, man. Like I see, do you follow Gary V?
Yes.
Oh, that's our inspiration.
That's literally, yeah, exactly. That no regrets
and
thing.
You see, I see his videos every day, and he's like, I'm like 35 and I have so much time, so that also, like, it's in my mind that I have time.
Yeah, totally. I mean, let's cut it off. That's a perfect way to end off. So thank you very much for being here. I had a great time, and I think the viewers had a great time as well.
Likewise.
My guy. Yalla.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bye. Wow, so that was a very interesting discussion with Mustafa, and I think that's it from me and Aryan from the Unoccupied Podcast.
Yep. If you guys like this content, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Instagram. It's at the Unoccupied Podcast, and follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well to stay up to date with all of our audio version of the podcast. And I guess stay occupied, guys.
Exactly. We're occupied, bro. Now we have uni stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.